So, the outcome our client has created now is the result of their conscious and unconscious thoughts, behaviors, beliefs, choices up to this point in time. And to change the outcome or the result, we have to change all of those things in line with whatever they want now moving forward. So it's all, I love this work because it's about now moving forward. Because it's always now, as you know. If you forget, you can look at the clock. And then you say, wow, you know, whatever already happened, already happened. Now what can we do with what's the result of that? How can I think differently? How can I, what do I need to shift inside of myself to, in the next minute, now, have a different experience, have a different feeling, have a different result? That's what we help them with. It's very profound, and it can happen very quickly. And the key, as a hypnotist, the challenge is to figure out what's the right questions to ask that will get their creative mind to start accessing other possibilities of ways to think and behave and believe and choose and all of that. Behave. And then to program that in at a level where it becomes habit, which we know we can do very quickly with hypnosis. Doesn't have to take the 21 days or 28 days or whatever somebody wrote, you know, because the smoker can walk out and have that new habit of being a non-smoker, and it's just there. It's a nice thing when it can happen, like flip the switch. And I think it can happen with anything. People forget that they have control over their thoughts. It's a very powerful thing to remember and to remind our clients. Very good, very good. Okay, so how do you get clues from your client? You know, if you have rapport, that's the first thing. And we haven't done a lot in here about, we've talked about matching and mirroring and, you know, matching tone, speed, vocal speed, volume, those kind of things. Matching, you know, nodding. You start nodding with somebody. You start just, you know, changing your position as the client's talking. I do this all the time, consciously sometimes, just because a lot of times when the client's telling their story, I'm not really listening to the words. It sounds funny, but to them, if I said it, it would sound funny. To you, I'm listening for clues. And you can get really good at not listening to the sentences or any of that. You're listening to the what we call the subtext, and that's what we're going to do today a lot on. Listening beyond the words to the subtext. You're listening for beliefs, you're listening for expectations, you're listening for values, you're listening for what's important to them. Their self-talk, all those things. So if you start matching someone a little bit and settle in with them where they are when they come in, you gain that rapport, and you can just listen beyond those words and, you know, make a little note of the things that stand out is the way I do it. You know, if they start saying, well, and I was going to do a little thing here to kind of demonstrate this. I think this.
Good idea when you in your real practice to have record the first meeting, so we can make, well, I can make.
I record all of. Are you saying is it okay to record?
With the permission of the client.
Yeah, that's why it's on the sign-in sheets on my intake forms. I think I gave you a copy of my intake form already. It's on there that I'll be recording, and I always ask them. I say, I'm with your permission. Here's how I say it. With your permission, I'm going to record this. Nobody hears it. It doesn't even have your name on here. I use numbers for the clients, and I say this is just so I don't have to take a lot of notes. I'll still take a few, but I say this way I can really pay attention to you. Again, because if you're sitting reading a script and reading notes and doing all that, yes, you might still get some results, but ultimately you want to really be connected. You want to be able to connect and keep that connection going through the whole thing.
I might lose a few words that I didn't pick up when I write in my notes. You know?
Right, yeah. If you recorded it, then you can really go back and listen to it.
Do you ever go back and listen to you?
Very rarely. Yeah. I don't tell them that.
Yeah.
Because I just trust, I don't know, it's just me maybe, but I just believe I get it all from watching them. And if I go back and listen to it, it's going to be where they were when they were there.
Right,
yeah, and the next time they come in, they're not going to be there anymore. Yeah. At least that's my assumption and expectation. It's going to be very, very unplanned, very off the wall, but I think the best way for me to demonstrate what I'm listening for is to have someone who has a current challenge in your life. Is that going to pick up both? Yeah? You have something specific that you don't mind talking about? I'm sorry?
Weight loss?
Yeah, if you don't mind talking about it, because I do need content for this.
See if I can get up here first.
Yep. Stabilize it for you.
Thank you.
Got it? Good girl. Okay. So the way I was thinking, and this is being created out of my mind this morning, I came up with this because I want to try to demonstrate a little bit about what I'm listening for and why I'm listening for it and what I think is significant. Doesn't mean that this is all going to be right. Doesn't mean I'm going to catch everything. We can discuss that, but what I'm going to do is every now and then I'm going to hit pause and I'm going to say, okay, now we're in class.
Okay.
And now we're back here. So that I can as we go along, I can just mention things that I find are going to be helpful for me as I help this client to get what they're here for. So we're going to assume you've filled out your paperwork and you just sat down, and I'm going to start asking questions. And the first thing I'd like to know is, and I know I asked you to think about this before you came here. You might not remember that because it's been a while. And I just kind of want to hear in your own words, what is it you actually want from doing this work? What is it you actually want?
I want to be at a comfortable weight and not unhealthy, but I want to be at a place, like years ago I was in a place where I never had to think about my weight. It just always was fine. And I have this belief system now that I'm having trouble losing weight because of my thyroid, because of my age, all that stuff, menopause, all these words that go out there. Women gain weight when they get older, kind of a thing.
Yeah. So you're aware that you have those kind of ideas that you
and I physically work on with the doctor who actually is very into mind body. So she's very good, but she also is a doctor. So when I've tried this before, I'm on all
when you tried this before,
losing
meaning
weight before.
okay.
I went on an all natural diet for 6 months for my health and knowing I'll lose weight too, and I lost very little weight. I mean, maybe 12 pounds in 6 months to me was not a lot compared to
wasn't what you wanted to do.
Yeah. So
now you're working with it.
So then they went and did my thyroid. Oh, must be something else. So then it became a health issue that I couldn't lose weight. So I stopped gaining the weight, and I went down a certain weight, but I'm not down anymore, and I'm starting to go back up again.
So how long ago did you lose that 12 pounds or whatever it was?
4 years ago, maybe.
That's when you kind of stabilized and didn't go up anymore.
I lost 30 pounds eventually after the thyroid thing and working at it.
Oh, you still lost another 30?
Yeah, well, I lost, altogether. Yeah, after that I lost another 30, which is good because my weight was going up without eating or anything that, I saw other people doing. I wasn't doing, and my weight kept going up anyway, and I didn't understand that.
Yeah. So how did you lose the 30? What do you think you did?
My belief system is the thyroid helped. I took a pill now.
Oh, okay. So you're taking meds.
And
okay.
Watched what I ate, and I still kept on the health thing. I still kept on doing the really good health.
So the thyroid, you started taking those pills about 3 years ago, you said,
yeah.
and then that you think helped.
Yeah.
Plus you were watching what you were eating.
Right. And recently she raised my thyroid pill up.
She raised it.
Yeah.
And what was the reason for that?
Very, very tired and heavy again. Well, mostly tired.
But you had lost 30 pounds.
Oh, that was 3
since
years
then.
ago, and then it's staying, and I'm starting to go up again. My weight's starting to creep back up.
Yeah. But she increased the pills because
I was having, my thyroid count was down. It wasn't where it should be. T3 and T4, and I was very tired. But she just checks my blood anyway because I was told I had an autoimmune disease, and that made it go away with all this, which is good.
It went away?
Yeah. I made it go away. I don't want to take pills for it. So
You made it go away?
I made it go away.
How'd you make it go away?
I ate differently. I watched what foods affected me. I worked with my doctor on it, and I also worked on it spiritually.
Okay.
what my body was trying to tell me.
What do they say about the thyroid medications? What is their discussion with you about
They
moving
said
forward with that?
What was happening with me was my thyroid, when she put me on one pill, thyroid was starting to work. But there's a T3 and T4, so it's almost like I'm pushing and putting the brakes on at the same time, which is kind of a metaphor for life.
Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of looked at it like that's the place I'm at. And also, the autoimmune lupus was like your body's attacking itself, it doesn't recognize itself. And that was a thing I was going through spiritually.
You have that going on now, though? That's gone, you
I'm trying
said.
to change who I am.
Did you say that's gone, though? The lupus
My
is-
lupus is gone, yeah.
So it's not your lupus anymore?
Yeah, right, my lupus.
You gave it to
right.
somebody else.
I gave it
You gave
I
it away.
traded it for-
Put it back out into the universe.
No, it's
whatever.
gone. From everything they've tested, it's not around anymore.
Okay, and that's been gone for how long?
About 4 years.
4
No,
years?
I'm sorry, 2 years.
2 years. Very nice. And you're aware that you did something. You were changed some things
Yeah.
logically, but you also mentally had a
Yeah, I did
Some-
more.
something you did
I
with
actually
that?
left a job that was very, very
Ah.
poisonous.
Mm-hmm.
And I relaxed. I actually took time off from everything. Went home. That was part of it. Look, I'm getting emotional talking about it.
Yeah, that's okay. Where's my Kleenex box?
I had some stuff.
There's usually one right here. Well, it's emotion. Life is emotional, and that's a good thing. If you didn't have emotions, it'd be
I know, God help me.
it wouldn't be good. Thank you, Ron. So that's good. It's nice to have let emotions out when they want to come out. It's a lot better to let them out than to just hold them in. So I appreciate you being up here and being kind of on display like this. And you know, I can't help myself, but right away I'm going into the mode of just there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah.
And we'll hit pause here just for a moment and go back to being students in class
Okay,
and instructional. So, and I know you all, I'm going to ask you all too, because I know you're getting a lot out of this, right? Now the first thing is, were you aware that I was matching her at all?
No, I wasn't.
Were you? You weren't. Okay, and that's
I
important.
was too into my story.
Yeah, and that's the way it should be, by the
Yeah.
way. Yeah, but you felt comfortable
I
with
did.
me, so yeah, and that's the important thing. And there's something that we're going to do in a little while, a little process, and we've done this many different ways in class. But I think of it as you sat here, and Ann Spencer, she does that thing where when the client walks in the door, she sends out "I love you" in her mind to the person. Yeah. Yeah, and that's her way of connecting immediately. And people feel that kind of thing. If you're sending that out, they feel it, right? And there's something that I want you all to really think about. Now, you do Reiki, and I know you all work with people, and I'm sure you're doing something intuitively or instinctively, unconsciously. If you aren't doing something consciously, I would encourage you to come up with something consciously and intentionally to do when you sit down with someone that you're wanting to help, because you're there, they're counting on you to help them, and you there's a thing about clearing all your stuff, and connecting. And I think of it as that we do processes in Michael's classes where he talks about it like extending your chi,
Yeah.
right? That makes sense to some people. Energy, chi, and to create like an energy bubble. That you and I are in this energy bubble, and the rest of the world, it's still there,
Yeah.
but we're here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just got this awareness that just gave me an aha that's why I think I love my work.
Yeah.
Because I put my stuff totally aside,
Yeah.
and I'm totally all about it, and I help create change.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do it, like I said, we do it naturally. People that help people, you kind of end up doing it naturally. And when working with hypnosis, I would just encourage you to develop it like a quantum level even farther, and to keep developing it. Because the more you can get into that with somebody, the more you're connecting unconsciously, and that's where all of that information is going to be right there. And all the other stuff's just going to be out there. And you'll develop even more of that intuition, even more of that. And it can keep developing. You can do this for years and years and years, and it can still keep getting stronger. So I just wanted to bring that up. But what I'm getting is, this isn't part of your thing here. Get rid of that. We had a fat man class, in case you didn't notice. There was a reason I left that up there. I'll think of it later probably. But so here's some of her, and she's even saying, I have a belief system, which sounds like a hypnotist talking to me, but that's okay, because you are who you are. Yeah, exactly. So, and therapists will come to you. They do, yeah. And so and it's interesting when someone does say it like that, which people will. I have a belief system that says age, that was some of this stuff. This was something that got diagnosed, right? That became a factoid, as we say. So, and if someone says, I have a belief system that, it's different than if they say, well, because I'm going, been going through menopause, and when how it is when they talk to me like that, they'll say, how it is when women go into menopause, and I'm in my head saying, well, no, but now I know what you think, that's what I'm thinking in my head. But by saying it the way she said it, see, our beliefs are beliefs because we think they're true. We think it's a fact. If we just think it might be that, then you would have presented it differently. And yet, to say it the way you said it is still different than saying it that other way. So it's a subtle difference, but it's important. It's an important difference. Because what it tells me is that it's almost like you have a belief system that says that, almost implies, the subtext of that in my head, when I heard her say it, is that there's a part of her that might think that might not necessarily be a fact, a hardcore belief. Otherwise, she would have just said, well, because I'm going through menopause. It's a fact. So this is happening because that's part of that. But she didn't say it like that. So the subtext, which is what I was hoping this might demonstrate a little bit of, I'm listening beyond what she said. I know she said that, and I'm writing it down. But these are like, they're beliefs that aren't real solid. The subtext that I heard come out of her is that there's a part of her saying, it might not necessarily have to be.
Well, a few years ago when I started with the lupus, that was something I incorporated. It must be menopause.
Right.
And then they told me it wasn't menopause. I was like, what?
Oh, and then they said it wasn't. So now you got new information. That's how beliefs change, right? That's how beliefs change, though.
Yeah.
So this, when you said it just now, it was in relation to what's going on now, right?
Yes.
Or was it?
Well, I'm sort of looking at, when I said my belief
And we're talking
system,
still as a class now.
Yeah.
We're not talking
when
as
I said my belief system, I use that expression because there is that part of me that knows that that's just a belief system that I need to change. But a few years ago, I did believe that, God. Not that as it was happening, I incorporated, it must be because blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, because we're looking for reasons for things.
Yeah, and I do
cause,
that.
Reasons. Well, everybody,
Well, the reason
it's a natural, we want to know what is the cause, what is the reason. And even in hypnosis, in the timeline, we're looking for the root cause. The cause. Even though the premise is we're at cause, but so it's a little different.
It's still us.
A little
It's
different.
our unconscious.
Yeah. So I'm getting that. I've got this physical thing. These are the ones that a doctor confirmed, and you've got medicine now going on. Now, first of all, to work with her with weight loss, I would get a doctor's referral. Do you understand why I would do that?
Because she's under doctors.
She's taking medication relating to weight that the doctor thinks is relating to, and the thyroid thing's going on. That's one reason. Officially, probably wouldn't get in trouble if you went ahead and did it without that.
My doctor is so good, I just tell her that I do it. Because I do check in with her. I make sure that.
Yeah.
Because I see my numbers, if they're changing, I go and fix it so it gets better again, So
go and fix it. Okay, we're going to get back to that as you as the client in a minute here.
Client, right?
Yeah. Let's stay as a class for now, though, just because we're going to pick up where we left off, and I'll get that information. Let's see here. My brain was going in a direction there. No, it's okay.
You do have a past resource
Yeah, I was going to get to that in a minute, but there was something else relating to this.
Anybody?
That I was on a track, but it took off. Come back. Give me a second.
One thing I noticed was that she said she tried this before.
Yeah, yeah.
She just did it before and it appeared to didn't work, but she just tried it.
I say try a lot. I've noticed since I've been doing this
Yeah.
class. Try and working on.
And it's the same letters as, this has the same letters as this. Isn't that interesting?
Oh yeah, because that's
the triads.
my biggest complaint there. That's
And the
amazing.
triads are kind of, I don't mean to say it, because the triads are cop-outs. Because you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. But if you're going to
Well-
do it, you're giving yourself
Well,
the
that
option to
hurt.
fail.
Yeah, and that's, yeah, like I said, we wouldn't talk that way
No,
to a
in
client,
class,
but yeah,
this is a class
yeah,
thing, I
yeah.
get that.
Yeah.
Don't try.
Don't tell the
Do
client
not.
that.
Right.
That allows you to fail.
Right.
It really
Right,
does.
and with a smoker, I will be that direct, because I do use that, and you'll see that
Okay.
next weekend. But you don't want to be that harsh usually with,
No.
you know,
Right.
something
Because
else.
even
But we hold that, we know that. We know that when we hear that, that's part of the problem. Yeah, the wording is important. That's why when I did my presentation, it was substance abuse. Addiction is a word that takes the power away from the person.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. If you're addicted, you have no control.
Right.
So that's not where we want to start.
Right.
Yeah. So it's reframing the language. In our world, we keep reframing all the language, you know. So, okay. I don't know where that went, but maybe it'll come back. Okay. Medical health. You're on medicine. Oh, so the second reason why I would get the referral, other than that she is on medications for something relating to treatment for the weight, relating to the weight, the thyroid thing. The second reason is I want to have that doctor know that she's doing hypnosis now. Because if this is the only new element introduced and all of a sudden things start getting better, I want that doctor to know who I am.
Well, good point. Huh?
And
What if the doctor says, don't bother, what if the doctor's really against it?
what do you think? What if you went to your doctor and they said, no,
Well,
I'm
if
really
I was
against
in a
that?
different place and I went to my doctor and I said, I'm going to try hypnosis. And they said, no, just, you're going to have to be on this medicine for the rest of your life kind of a thing. I might say, okay, you know?
You know, you got to use your own
Be
judgment.
careful because people would.
I don't have the problem of not getting referrals, so I don't
Okay.
even assume that's going to be a problem.
My doctor wouldn't, but I've
Yeah.
been to a couple of really closed-minded doctors, you know.
Well, and again, I've had people who changed doctors because they wanted to see me
Oh, that's a good point.
through the years. Very few. It's happened a couple times, I know, where they said, you know, this doctor isn't. The doctor wants you to have what you want. They want. Doctors are not good at telling you you can't have something you ask for. If you go and ask for an MRI, they're usually going to figure out some way to justify it medically. You know, if you think you need it, they're going to try to get it for you. Yeah.
One thing that I'm realizing is that you really do have to leave your own preconceived thoughts on
Yes.
this whole session.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
I know my mother was a thyroid, took thyroid drugs.
Especially if you have
for
some-
years. Right,
yeah.
exactly. And she needed to be on them, but, you know, basically the client's trying to lose weight and trying to possibly come off their thyroid meds.
Well, no, we don't know that yet. I haven't gotten to that
Right,
yet.
okay.
Yeah.
But, you know, you really do have to leave your preconceived notions.
You have to,
because
especially if you have some experience with the
my
thing.
first thought was, oh my gosh, she's on thyroid pills, she's never going to be able to come off.
Yeah, and that's your belief
Right,
system.
exactly.
Right, well, that's actually, the doctor told me that because I went off. I did have to take some medications when I first started, and little by little I took them. I went off of them.
Mhm.
But she said, thyroid, you may have to. She didn't say you have to.
Okay, right.
You may have to take
Okay,
that for the rest of your
okay, let's go back to client then. We're back here. Because that was going to be my next thing I wanted to ask, and that leads us back into that, and we'll get back to whatever else I was thinking. Like, that's what I was starting to ask before about what does your doctor say about the medications you're taking for thyroid?
Yeah, she told me that, I said I want to not take these eventually too.
Okay, that's important. Pause again. She said she told her doctor she doesn't want to be taking these eventually. That's important. That's good for me to know. That's helping me to know I can help her. Because if she didn't say that, there's going to be a whole different approach. It's not our job to tell them that they should want to be off medication. And please don't ever say that to anybody. You know, she told me that. See, that's why you got to listen. Let them tell you. And I wouldn't have even asked her yet. I might have asked her later in the conversation, but I'm glad it came out now. Okay, so
not just
Want-
that she doesn't want to be on the meds, but that she was assertive and she feels she's got the power to get, kind of like get herself off.
Yeah, and my doctor helped me with the power so I could get to that place. Well, we're gonna put you on this, but I took myself, I mean, I got off all this, now we're going on this, and I'm like, you know, it's sort of, she's
Okay.
helped me get off the other stuff, but in her mind, this
She's
might
helped you
not
get
be.
off all the other
Well,
stuff,
like I had
meaning
high
what?
blood pressure, my blood sugar was getting high. You
And
know,
when was this? All through these last
autoimmune.
3 years, or?
The last, it's probably now more like 2.
So this
4
same
or 5.
doctor
Yeah,
worked
I
worked
followed
through.
her, because she's a nurse practitioner, but she's amazing.
Now your blood pressure is good?
It's gone
Without-
back up again. I'm starting to go through a lot of the same stuff again.
Are you
And
taking
I
any of
think
the
it's a poisonous
medications?
job. I had to go back on high blood pressure medicine. which
You
was-
are on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was off that. I lost
You were off?
weight. I was
Okay,
off
so you got rid of the
everything was
first
down.
point, we're back here now. You got rid of the first poisonous job, you quit, and you started getting better on some of this
Yeah.
stuff, and you just said, now
Well, I
you're
took
back in
I
another,
took a job that was a lot lighter, so somehow I created this, but things are changing completely. And the last place I left, they adopted the same program. They said, oh, Avatar's coming, and that's supposed to be this great computer program. And they did it the last place, and this is me going, oh, crap.
oh, because that
Here
was
we
a
go
bad
again.
experience there, and now you're
Yeah,
thinking, here it
and
comes
it's all
again.
over again.
So now that's what's happening now? So now you've back kind of in that
Right.
same,
Yeah.
now you're back here again. You started to say, yeah.
But
yeah.
my job was light. I took a light job on purpose. Less paperwork. Fun.
So there's
Get to hang out
less,
with the guys.
as far as doing the job, it's less stressful.
It was, yeah.
Was.
Because
So you keep going. I'm never sure
Well,
she's
I
talking
know
about
it
now
was-
or in the past.
it was up until recently. Now people get laid off. They're scrutinizing everything you do. They're saying you're going to do so much more. We're changing everything.
Right now, this is what's going
Yeah.
on. So it's getting more
Immediately.
stressful.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's getting back
But
into.
at the same time,
But you like what you do. I get that.
I
But
do.
but there's
It's
a lot
fun,
more.
But it's lighter. I mean, it's not something I want to do the rest of my life. But at the same time, I'm
Right.
going a different avenue. So I feel like this is sort of like almost mother bird kicking out of the nest kind of a thing. You know, it's like, okay, I don't want to do this forever, but am I going to do it forever? But now it's getting worse, and I don't want to do it forever. But I don't want to be in the field anymore that way. So we're getting a little off topic for this, but
Well, not really.
yeah, maybe
One thing
not.
I
Maybe it's all
noticed is
connected.
that- And there was a very heavy association, I felt, and I could be wrong, but I sensed that you were very much associating the computer program, the avatar, with the old job, with
That's
the
right.
new job. And as soon as
Yeah,
I-
Well, yeah. There's a trigger. Yeah. That was a
And
trigger.
I saw that when I said it.
Yeah,
But
that was
then
a trigger.
At the same time, I knew how they did it systematically. They brought this program in, but they also brought a consultant saying, "This is what you do. This is
Yeah.
how you get people to."
Okay, so here's my question for you. Let's get back to
Yeah.
here. So we got a lot of information here, and we don't want a whole lot of information that isn't relevant to what she's coming to me for. So what is it that you want to accomplish working with hypnosis, with all what's going on?
I would like to not only lose weight to get to a healthy weight, but keep it off and believe. I sort of changed my belief pattern, my belief system that I have to have this weight on somehow or something, you know?
So there's a part of you thinks that maybe it's there for a reason.
Because
or-
of the age, because of this, because of that,
Yeah.
because of stress, because I eat too much, because I beat myself up, because
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. So your bottom line goal, if you had to put it in one sentence, what would you say it is?
My bottom line goal is to take my excess weight off and keep it off
Okay.
healthily.
Okay, now, I'm going to pause again.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back in a class. You're a student. To take excess weight off. Okay? Is that a well-formed outcome? Yet. No, it's a starting point. It's a starting point. Take excess weight off, okay? What is one of the elements of a well-formed outcome that doesn't have yet? Just name one. There's a bunch of them it doesn't have yet.
More specific.
More specific,
goal.
okay. How much weight specifically? I'm going to start with what she gave me. I'm not going to reframe and tell her to think about it differently yet. How much weight specifically is excess in your mind?
Can I
Yeah,
pause, do class
Oh,
again?
absolutely.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I have said before that I want to lose a certain amount of weight,
Yeah.
which is a large amount.
Mhm.
And I've had people around me, because I said it out loud.
Mhm.
Oh, you don't want to, you probably won't be able to lose that much.
Mhm.
You're at an age now where
Mhm.
you're not going to be at that place you used to be. And
Mhm.
you're not going, so
Everybody's got an opinion.
I know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I sort of, it's weird, I feel all my emotions coming up.
Yeah, and that's important. That's important. Yeah. Because guess what? Well,
I want to lose all my weight.
let's all of it? She'll just disappear. It'll be like, where did she go? Are you okay to keep going here? Because
Yeah.
I know this is emotional, but this is going to be instructive.
No, I didn't.
I already can tell
That's
this
why
is
I
going to
said
be more
I
instructive maybe than I
I
even
know
thought.
this is what I'm going to work on.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm doing.
And I'm not going to tell you yet why I'm going to stick with that. What? Yeah, let's wait. Let's wait. And
Okay.
I want to see how this develops. So we're back here.
Okay.
So you said you want to get rid of all your excess weight.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of how much that is? And you don't necessarily even have to tell me a number. Do you know what that means? Do you know what your end result weight is that you would
Yes.
like to be at?
Yes.
Okay, what would the end result weight be that you'd like to end up at?
It would
And
be-
stay, you said, and maintain. That you think would be healthy for you, because you said healthy weight.
Yeah. 120.
120?
Or less.
And how tall are you?
Less. 5'1".
Okay, so 120 at 5'1". Let's just keeping it round for now.
Right.
And again, we might end up a little over or under that, and you'll know that